All right, so in this video, I want to talk about the Priestess card. So the Priestess card is a rare support card. So it's part of the Kingdom of Light faction. It is going to target the first enemy coming down the track. Its main skills, just as you level up the card, are going to be damage and hero cooldown. So is not anything too crazy. It does list on the main page. Oops, sorry. The generate mana, but you can see when you go to level up the card, it actually isn't going to increase the amount of mana generated by leveling up the card from like 8 to 9 or whatever. That's going to be affected just by the merge rank of the card, which we'll get into a little more here in a second. So it is a first target card. When you do the merging, it's going to increase the attack interval, which is pretty common, as well as how much mana is generated. So that's really where the support aspect of this card comes into effect. And just if we hop over to the info tab real quick, how the card works is the Priestess. It just attacks the first target on the path, and then you generate mana when you merge, destroy, or reducing the merge rank of the unit. The amount generated depends on the unit merge rank. So we can see in the little tooltip right here, when you merge two circle units, they each generate 80 mana because one, you're merging it, destroying the other one. But so in total, you're getting 160 mana. Now this increases as you increase the rarity. So say we got to the triangle rank. If we merge a triangle unit, each of the units, instead of generating 80 mana apiece, you're actually going to be generating, what was that? It was 240 mana. So you're going to be getting 480 total. So the higher you have these merged, the more mana you're just going to be able to generate overall. The attacks interval, boost is whatever, just because really, having a higher attack boost interval does help for the damage output, but realistically, you're not going to be using this Priestess to deal damage. You're going to be using it to generate mana so you can upgrade other cards and spawn other cards, because you're going to need someone else to be dealing the damage, doing more debuffs. When you upgrade the mana, when you use your mana to upgrade the cost, it just upgrades the damage the unit's going to deal. While that's fine, that's really, once again, you're not going to be using it as a damage dealer. So unless you have a lot of these Priestesses on the field, that's really not something you should prioritize, just because most of the time, if you have some Priestesses hanging out, you should just be merging them, generating the mana so you can improve your team somewhere else. So we already talked about when you level it up, the card up, you just deal damage and hero cooldown. Over to the talents. I'll talk about the talents a bit more in a separate video, but the Priestess does have talents to talk about. And then if we go over to the recommended decks, the Priestess is a nice card because you get it pretty early on, but it's just good in lower level decks, as well as there's some cool higher level decks that the Priestess is still pretty viable in, just because of the mana generation and just the kind of support card it is. But thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions.